the chilling tale of the Mindanao Cult Killings. Welcome back to Dark Case Stories. Today, we're diving into one of the most terrifying and little-known stories from the southern Philippines, the tale of the Mindanao Cult Killings, a dangerous mix of faith, fear, and fanaticism. This dark chapter in Philippine history will leave you questioning how far people can go when under the spell of a charismatic but deadly leader. The story of Datuali, the legendary Moro leader who led an armed resistance against American colonization, but his fight for freedom took a darker turn, leading to what has been described as cult killings. How did this happen? Let's dive into the rich cultural and historical roots of Mindanao to find out. But the path Datuali promised wasn't peaceful or holy, it was stained with blood and violence. In the late 1980s, in a remote part of Mindanao, a man named Datuali became the self-proclaimed prophet of a religious cult that claimed to be a splinter group from traditional Islam. Datuali, a charismatic man, convinced his followers that he had been chosen by a higher power to lead them into a new era of spiritual enlightenment and salvation. The story of Datuali, the legendary Moro leader who led an armed resistance against American colonization, but his fight for freedom took a darker turn, leading to what has been described as cult killings. How did this happen? Let's dive into the rich cultural and historical roots of Mindanao to find out. Mindanao, the second largest island in the Philippines, is a land of diverse cultures and tribes. The Maguindanaon people, along with groups like the Tausug, Maranao, and Iranan, have long been integral to the region's history. These tribes, deeply connected to their Islamic faith, fought fiercely to preserve their way of life against colonial forces. But not all tribes in the region were Muslim. The indigenous Tejeray and Manobo tribes followed their own animistic traditions, living in the highlands of Maguindanao. In the early 1900s, when the Americans began their push to colonize Mindanao, Datuali, a powerful leader among the Maguindanaoans, rose to resist the foreign invaders. He wasn't just a political leader, he was seen as a religious and spiritual figure, commanding deep loyalty from his people. At this point, his leadership transcended politics, as followers began to view him with a sense of almost mystical authority, combining his resistance with both Islamic and tribal values. With a growing number of followers, Datuali began preaching radical beliefs. He convinced his followers that outsiders and non-believers were evil, and that violent actions were justified in the name of purifying the land. His grip on his followers grew stronger, and soon enough they would do anything he commanded, even kill. The first signs of trouble came in the form of mysterious disappearances. Villagers in the surrounding areas began to vanish, but no one knew why. It wasn't until bodies started turning up that the terrifying reality came to light. Datuali's cult members began targeting anyone who spoke out against them or refused to join. One of the first victims was a local farmer who had questioned the legitimacy of Datuali's teachings. He was found mutilated, his body a warning to others who dared to defy the cult. The brutality of the murder shocked the local communities, but it was just the beginning. As Datuali's cult grew, so did its thirst for violence. The cult carried out a massacre that would forever scar the region. In a secluded village, they attacked in the middle of the night, slaughtering men, women, and children. It was a brutal, calculated assault aimed at instilling fear and consolidating their power. Survivors recall terrifying scenes, flames engulfing homes, cult members chanting prayers as they carried out the killings, and the air thick with the smell of burning wood and blood. The police were called in, but by the time they arrived, it was too late. The damage had been done, and the cult had disappeared into the night. With public outrage growing and the cult continuing its terror, the government launched a massive manhunt. Local law enforcement, backed by the military, began searching for Datuali and his followers. But the cult was elusive. They used the dense jungles of Mindanao as their hideout, and many locals were too terrified to help authorities. Datuali had become a ghost, only emerging to strike fear and spread his twisted message. However, despite their attempts to hide, authorities finally tracked them down in 1990, leading to one of the bloodiest standoffs in Philippine history. The authorities closed in on Datuali's stronghold deep in the jungle. What followed was a brutal firefight. Many of Datuali's followers were either killed or arrested during the raid, but the elusive leader himself managed to escape. For years, rumors swirled that Datuali was hiding in remote parts of Mindanao, continuing to manipulate and control what was left of his cult. Some claimed he had been killed, while others said he had fled to a neighboring island. To this day, his fate remains a mystery. The Mindanao Cult Killings left a deep scar on the region. Communities that were once thriving were shattered by fear, and the survivors of the massacre were left grappling with trauma that still haunts them to this day. The case also left many unanswered questions. How did Datuali manage to captivate and control so many people? What was it about his message that pushed ordinary people to commit horrific acts of violence? And most disturbingly, could something like this happen again? As time has passed, the story of the Mindanao Cult Killings has faded from the headlines, but the memory of those dark days still lingers in the shadows. And with Datuali's fate unknown, the haunting question remains, is he still out there? The latest updates on the Mindanao Cult Killings revolve around disturbing reports of a religious group involved in severe child abuse and other criminal activities in the region. In 2023, an alleged doomsday cult in Surigao del Norte, Mindanao, faced accusations of child trafficking, abuse, and forced marriages. The leader, J. Renz Quilario, was under investigation, prompting widespread concern. Authorities are working to rescue victims, with many coming forward to testify about the horrific conditions they endured. The situation remains tense, with both authorities and communities on high alert as they try to address these troubling incidents. Aside from these incidents, rumors of demonic cult attacks in areas like Misamis Occidental have circulated. These rumors suggest that groups are committing violent acts, with stories of home invasions and supernatural transformations, creating widespread fear among locals. Though some dismiss these as exaggerated or superstitious claims, the police have launched investigations to ensure public safety and prevent further violence. Thank you for watching this episode of Dark Kai Stories. The story of the Mindanao Cult Killings serves as a chilling reminder of the power that can be wielded by a dangerous leader and how easily fear can be weaponized. If you found this story as disturbing and thought-provoking as I did, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more true crime stories.